Bonjour! Bank robbery in French is the topic of our fait divers. This is good writing practice for you, especially if you are preparing for the TEF. Vous êtes prêts? C'est parti! To write this article, we are going to look at 6 questions. Your article will have to answer the what, the who, the where, the when, the how, the why, and the consequences. So number 1, the what, which is quoi in French. What is the event? What are we talking about? Number 2, the who, qui is involved in this event. Number 3, where, où. Where does this event take place? Number 4, when, which is quand. When does it take place? Number 5, how, comment. How is this event taking place? Number 6, why, pourquoi. Why is it taking place? And we'll finish with number 7, with the consequences. So, let's use these questions to structure our article, and that is what we call le plan in French. What I'm showing you here is what you need to include in this article. So you remember you have from number 1 to number 7. Even if you use this in English, I would advise you to put the answers in French because you need to write in French. So for number 1, a possibility is un cambriolage, which is a robbery, or braquage. The difference between cambriolage and braquage is that in braquage you have weapons involved. For the who, des hommes masqués, so men wearing masks. Where? In a bank, in the town center, or just in the town. Number 4, when? Let's use Friday, why not? In fact, I had used Sunday, but I realized that banks are closed on a Sunday, so I had to change it to Friday. Number 5, how was it done? Well, they took some hostages, so une prise d'otage, and they used weapons, usage d'armes. Why, which is in our number 6, was to rob the bank, to steal the money from the bank. And what are the consequences? Well, I have decided that they did manage to rob the money, to rob the bank, but there's no dead and no injured. Now that you have your structure, you need to think a little bit more about the vocabulary which you might need. Un cambriolage, we know it's a robbery, but un braquage is a bank robbery with, as I said before, the use of weapons. So it depends on what you want to write. Is it about a cambriolage or a braquage? And the person who does a braquage is a braqueur, un braqueur. La cible, the target. Une arme, a weapon. Une prise d'otage, as a noun of prendre en otage, to take hostage. Se diriger vers, to move towards. Prendre la fuite, to escape. Être blessé, to be injured. Une piste, a lead. And faire une enquête, to investigate. Some important vocabulary. So we have un coffre-fort, a vault. And if you have a person with a balaclava, un homme encagoulé or un homme portant une cagoule. And if it's not une cagoule, it might be just a mask, un homme masqué. What I'm showing you here is what you need to include in this article, and I call it priority. So your priority is to write a story in the past. You have to show that you can use the past tense effectively. And you could have as well the present, especially towards the end, to talk about the consequences. And how you're going to do it is also by using complex sentences, phrase complex. And also another form that you need to try to remember to include is the passive form, okay? Which is the passive. The passive form is very important because it's always used in articles. Are you ready for my example? So I'm going to write my title. I have decided that the story will take place in Bordeaux. So I put Bordeaux, un coffre-fort de 20 millions d'euros dérobé par des braqueurs à la BNP. BNP is the name of a bank. A vault of 20 million euros stolen by robbers at BNP. Please think carefully about the first sentence, because that's the first sentence which is going to incite someone to read your article. So here I put la BNP a été la cible d'un braquage vendredi en plein air. So I use la cible, which is the target, and braquage, I wanted to involve weapons, and en plein jour, in the, right during the day. So I'm going to read my text. La BNP a été la cible d'un braquage vendredi en plein jour. Des hommes masqués sont entrés dans la banque à 10h30, une arme à la main. Ils ont pris les employés et les clients en otage. Entre-temps, 2 d'entre eux se sont dirigés vers le coffre-fort où ils ont rempli leurs sacs de billets. So, as you can see here, I have used the past tense, okay, a été, sont entrés, ils ont pris, se sont dirigés, ils ont rempli. And I also tried to make some complex sentences. So I started with simple sentences, like the first one is a simple one, but then, entre-temps, 2 d'entre eux se sont dirigés vers le coffre-fort où, obviously I include another verb, which means that I'm having a complex sentence here, okay? Ils sont ensuite tous sortis par la porte d'entrée, traînant leurs sacs, et ont pris la fuite dans une voiture qui les attendait. Aucune personne n'a été blessée, mais malheureusement, les criminels n'ont pas pu être identifiés. Cependant, la police pense être sur une piste et poursuit son enquête. So for those who are preparing for the TEF, it is a minimum of 80 words. So here, I wrote 105 words, but I would advise you to stick to probably 100 words, because the more you write, the more mistakes you will make, all right? And in those 105 words, I've answered all the questions. A flashback on the latter part of the article to show you how the passive form was used in the first sentence. As you can see here, aucune personne n'a été blessée, mais malheureusement, les criminels n'ont pas pu être identifiés. So here you will always have être plus the past participle of the word you want to use. And then we have the transition to the present tense, and I put cependant, which is a connector here. La police pense être sur une piste et poursuit son enquête. So we just finished this on with the present tense for the consequences. Do you remember the little drawing with the word priorité in it, which just comprises all the elements we wanted in our article? So just go through the checklist and then tick as you go. So for the word count, remember, for those who are taking the TEF, minimum word is 80, 80. So you don't want to be under 80 and you don't want to write too much. So I would say between 80 and 100. 100 is a good number. Don't write too much, otherwise you are going to make too many mistakes. All right? So that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like it, and I see you in the next one. Au revoir.